Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as far that the passing there had worn them really about the same. Well, these are the lines taken from the famous poem, The Road Not Taken, written by the English poet Robert Frost. History accounts that after Robert Frost wrote this poem, he and his one of his close friend Edward Thomas were traveling down the wood, and they came across where two roads diverged in the wood, and they were not sure which road to take. When Robert Frost returned to New Hampshire, he wrote this poem, and Edward Thomas took it really very seriously. And history accounts that Edward Thomas took the less traveled road and enlisted himself in World War I. Eventually, Edward Thomas died in a war in World War I. And Robert Frost concludes, I'm not reading the entire poem, I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Well, in our journey of physics and mathematics, we sometimes come across two roads: research or job, research or higher studies, job or higher studies. And here also, we are really confused, just as the English poet Robert Frost was, which road I would take. Some people say that I took the one less traveled by, and that has made the difference. So, the basic idea of this video is to understand, analyze, and find out which road shall we take. Hello and welcome everybody to this video. My name is Shaunak and I welcome you to my channel Physics for Students. Well, we started the video with the famous lines of Robert Frost, but the basic idea of making this video is that I have often seen that students or people who are pursuing their journey in physics and mathematics, especially pure mathematics, gets confused that what shall I do, which road to take, because in the wood there are two roads that has diverged. One is research, one is job. One is higher study, one is job. So which road shall I take? How will I go ahead? Which is the road which is perfect for me? In this video, I would be talking more about a kind of a career guidance where I won't be making any decision that you should go for this or this. You are going to make the decision. I am laying you down certain facts, certain notions, certain ideas, certain things which I learned from my experience. You will decide which road to take. You should not lament like Robert Frost that I should have taken the road. The road once taken should be traveled with equal confidence, positive vibes, and with full-fledged vigor and spirit. So that is the idea of this video, to make you understand what are the things that you should check yourself, what are the things that you should know, and you are the best person to decide which road shall you take. This question, which is flashing right on your screen, how good I am in mathematics. Now, whenever you are pursuing a kind of a career in mathematics, it is very important for you to know that how good really you are. Now, students or aspirants gets confused sometimes that I am good in class 10 plus 12 or in my BS, or I am going ahead with further studies. I am a very good scorer of mathematics in my school and my college days. But no, the problem is that when we judge ourselves based on certain parameters, when we go into further studies, the parameters really fail. I mean to say fail in terms that you are into a higher competitive world when you are competing with almost big researchers, people who are pursuing PhDs or doctorates or at least a master's. So how would you know that you are good in mathematics? The scores that you have scored in college or school are not a way in which you can judge yourself. So first thing that you really need to understand is that, do you really love numbers? Are you feeling contented doing a lot with numbers, calculations, etc.? This is the first check. Do you really love numbers? Number one. Second thing which comes into the mind is that, are you really hungry for the answer? I mean to say, I will tell you, in back in my school or in my college days, whenever I used to get a kind of a mathematical problem, a geometry, a theorem, or algebra, and if I was unable to solve it throughout the day and night, it kept me hungry, it kept me thirsty, and this thirst cannot be quenched until I get a solution. So first would be that, are you really loving numbers, calculation? The second thing that is important is that, do you really have that kind of an hunger? Now, when I say hunger, it means really that you are restless, right? In mind and in thought, that until and unless I get into something, I won't be able to solve it. So this is the second parameter in checking that how you're good in mathematics. Another thing which you need to understand is that, can you understand geometry or shapes and sizes? Now let me give you an example. I mean to say, for example, we are trying to measure something in an XY coordinate system, for example, and then we get another coordinate system Z, and we get another coordinate system, say for example T for time, right? The fourth dimension. I mean to say, whenever you are checking on those parameters, can you imagine things visually? What I'm trying to tell is, for example, geometric shape, a three-dimensional cube or a two-dimensional object. Now, the front face of the object, for example, this part, has got certain parameters, and then you have to imagine what could be on the back face. What could happen if the object is flipped? What would happen if I want to know the mirrored side or the opposite side of that? Let me tell you, there are people who are very good in mathematics, but they really, what I would say, they really lack the visualization in terms of geometric figures. Two dimension to three dimension, the surface, the volume, the back side of the cube, the front side of the cube, the other part of the cube going this way or that way. That is something very, very important. I mean to say, you need to have a proper intuitive understanding without drawing out, because four dimensions, etc., sometimes become very difficult to draw on in terms of figure on a paper or on the chalk or board. So do you have a kind of a natural tendency to understand geometric objects? That is important, because I have seen really people really struggle further going into mathematics, that they can imagine what is on the other side, a kind of a mental mapping with that of mathematics. Another thing which you need to have if you are really good in mathematics, check, I would say another check is that, do you have a persistence? Now, if you have seen my earlier video, which I have given right here in the I button, is that how to make a career in mathematics. You can go there and you can find out a kind of a similar topic which I have talked, that how will you check that you're really good in mathematics. Same thing I have talked in my video in real analysis, where I have said that you need to have 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration. Right, because things won't be that easy when you're pursuing a career in research, physics, I would say pure mathematics or applied mathematics. That means a kind of a persistence is always required. It won't come in a day. The brain takes time, slowly and slowly and slowly, to get wired, to get those kind of a visualization. Looking at the equation quickly, you will be able to say, okay, so it won't be applied with this formula, we should go with this formula. This is not a sign of a single integration, it requires double integration. I mean to say, a kind of an intuitive approach. So what I would like to tell you, apart from that, there are many other things which you need to do. And most importantly, is it to get a proper guide. Now, this is something I understand you won't be able to tell right at this, that in my college or in my postdoctoral, will I get a proper guide? Because guide plays a very important role. I will tell you the last line of Gita, if I remember it correctly, says, Yatra Yogeshwar Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shrir Vijayor Bhutir Dhruvani Tirmatir Mama. That means Yatra Yogeshwar Krishna, when there is Yogeshwar Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhar, when there is a Dhanurdhar or an archer like Arjuna, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhutir Dhruvani Tirmatirman. Then only you are assured to get a success. So whether you are just like a archer so dedicated like Arjun, and whether you will get a guru like Krishna, time will tell. But only when these two are in perfect assimilation, Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhutir Dhruvani Tirmatirman, you are bound to get a success. So, anyway, I won't take time to elaborate too much on this, but it is very important that please don't go biased by what are the scores 100 out of 100 in school or in college days. No. When you go into real mathematics, real study, real analysis, these scores really doesn't matter. So check number one, your persistence, your visualization, how good and how much really you love, and whether months after months, years after year, you can really stay and focus on a single problem. I have seen people, my Professor Daksh, I have read interviews of Professor Andrew Wiles, I have studied a lot through Grigory Perelman. All of them have one single focus, and that carried on years and years and years, not deviating from anything, not doing into anything. Do you really have that kind of a persistence? Whatever might happen, social turbulence, emotional problems, you are going to stick to that single problem until it gets solved. Think it out. If you want, you can talk to me, you can comment, you can write to me, but make sure these points are clear before you embark on your journey in mathematics. Is it worthwhile to pursue a career in pure mathematics? Before answering this question, I have a question for you. Actually, is it worthwhile to have music which will help run the world? Cosmology, cricket, sculpture, ballet. This philosophy helps to run the world. 3D animation, does it help to run the world? Archaeology, anything, does this help to run the world? Gym, athletics, does it really help to run the world? So mathematics itself is a huge edifice of human thought, more beautiful and deep than anything else for those with the training and inclination to appreciate it. This is point is quite good enough. What I'm trying to tell is that whenever you're questioning, or I would say in society, we generally have this kind of a thing. Is it really worthwhile? What will you do? Get hold of a good job, go into banking, go into insurance, go into, I would say, digital marketing, go into something else which really fetches out a job. What will you do pursuing a career in pure mathematics? Is it really worthwhile? Now, think yourself that if this type of a question would have been asked by Isaac Newton, Rene Descartes, Leibniz, Albert Einstein, Michael Faraday, Carl Friedrich Gauss, today we would have not got electricity. Today we would not have understood gravitation. Today the wheels which are running on a primitive manner, the cars, etc., would not be here. Electricity would not have been here. Magnetism would not have been here. We would not have learned or understood the world the way we understand. If these scientists or these philosophers or these mathematicians would have thought, if Leibniz would have thought, how does it make any sense when I do calculus, differentiation, integration, all those points, etc., limit and continuity? How does it matter? I would have got a better job. A philosopher would have thought in that way. So, my request to you, my dear viewers, is that let us not think in this way. Because if this would have been the thought which these philosophers, mathematicians would have thought, we would have stayed back in the stone days. Neither we have the mobile to communicate, neither we get a vaccination for COVID, neither we get a vaccination for typhoid. The healthcare sector, the industry, automation, electricity, all would have gone back to those old days when we were living in the caves. So the question is that whenever you think that is it worthwhile to pursue a career in mathematics, think yourself that how does music make any difference? Yes, it makes a difference. Archaeology? Yes, it makes a difference. Cosmology? Yes, it makes a difference. Gym and bodybuilding? Yes, it makes a difference. Every single thing which human beings have thought and got a progress really makes a difference. The question is that what is the difference right now and what is the difference which will take a long term, long time in order to get the results. So pure mathematics, if you think in that way, is definitely important, because without the thought of pure mathematics, further applications of mathematics, the mobile phone, the digital camera, the Apples, the IBM, the iPhone, nothing would have been here. The problem that we face when we try to get hold of this kind of a question, that is pure mathematics worthwhile, is cosmology worthwhile, is pursuing music worthwhile, is because we cannot see an immediate change. We cannot see an immediate impact which our studies are making. Now, I can tell, I was just watching one of the videos of a Nobel laureate, I forgot the name, in YouTube. He is telling, very old person is telling, if you want an immediate effect, don't do science. If you want an immediate money, don't do science. Right. I don't. I remember one of the chemist. I forgot the name. It is there in my community tab. Oldest person to get Nobel Prize in mathematics at the age of 92. Now, if this person would have thought that for 92 years or maybe 75, 80 years, I have been doing and doing and doing certain things, what is the output? Why would I do that? Why would I, if he would have thought like us, why should I pursue a career in chemistry or mathematics? No, this is not the right approach. So any kind of a thinking which it takes a longer time to mature. Any kind of a research takes a longer time to mature. If we start thinking like that, then this Isaac Newton, Rene Descartes, Leibniz, all the mathematicians, philosophers, applied mathematics, those who, Michael Faraday, Ernest Rutherford, nothing would have been discovered. Let us not think that what would immediate result it will give, because results take time, research takes time, everything takes time. You have to, as an aspirant, you have to give that time. You have to be patient, you have to hold that. That is why I told that importance of pursuing a career in mathematics is not the score, but the attitude, the mentality, the persistence, whether you can really carry on with that. If you can carry on, please go ahead. Otherwise, it's fine. You have got a lot of jobs, good, handsome salary. You can be a professor, data scientist, anything like that, and there is no problem. There is no problem in either. Either you can go into science, research, pure mathematics, or into job. Both of them are good. So, what is worthwhile depends on you. Yes, pure mathematics definitely is worthwhile, provided that you persist and you don't think and become restless. Now, this question, shall I pursue a career in research? Now, I would say that research, let me define it in this way. If you get a job which is into research, that is the best thing to do. A job itself is itself a research, right? Now, when I'm talking of research, currently I'm talking of mathematics, of scientific research, but there are n number of research fields which you can go, from aeronautics to science to mathematics to genetic engineering to data analysis to computation to artificial intelligence to neuro-linguistic programming. There is no end. But the question is that, what shall I pursue my career in research? Now, here I would like to tell you, a career in research could mean many things. One is that a professor in a research university. Yes, you can get admitted into any one of these research universities and you become a professor. Second is that a scientist in a lab or in a government lab where you are, really, researching a certain things. A staff member of an industrial research, this is also an option. Plus, there are a lot of subjects of research like particle physics, disease genomics, medieval manuscripts, database, etc. So, first is that in either you can go into any of the private research organizations like Homi Bhabha Atomic Research Center, any of these centers which supports research, or you can become a professor in a university into research. All these options, scientist, staff member, etc. Now, the question that comes in our mind, that what would be the outcome of the research? This is the problem. So in job, you get a direct outcome. You go in the morning, you do your job, and at the end of the day, you get paid. Research also gives you a handsome salary, provided that you go into a proper kind of a institute. So what I would like to tell you here, a few lines, that risk adversity and intolerance extends beyond intellectual. There are many researchers who are just fine with working independently on new problems and solutions, but are adversing financially. They expect to be paid well and live comfortably regardless of their research outcome, right? People who can handle both intellectual and financial risks are what they are called entrepreneurs, even though it is more about financial and other risks. Also note that handling risks does not mean assuming them individually. It is also about arbitraging and dispersing them together with other peoples and entities, which is what venture capitalists and other financiers are doing all about. What I'm trying to tell you is that what would be the outcome of the research 10, 12 years into something, constantly researching? Either you get into the government laboratories, labs, or government organization where the government is paying you out. Either you go into research universities where the university is responsible to pay you the amount, or you go into any of these private institutions. But if you think, or if you find out that I have problems with finance, what will happen after 10 years if the research is not, I mean to say, the research is not fruitful, or anything fruitful is not coming up, then research field is not for you. Again, I'm taking, it will take time, maybe a longer time than you expect, in order to get the understanding or the outcome of the research. So please let us not expect anything immediate. First of all, there are certain research universities, let me tell you. The Indian Institute of Science, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Tata Institute, TIFR is very common, Tata Institute of Fundamental Research. We have got Homi Bhabha National Institute, then Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Bombay, IIT Madras. Then we have got this famous Indian Institute of Cultivation of Science in Calcutta. Then we have got Indian Institute of Science Education and Research, IISER, IIT Guwahati, and IIT Kanpur. So what I'm trying to tell is that if you get admitted, or if you are already working any of these research universities, that's the best thing to do. Because whenever you're thinking that after my graduation or master's, shall I get into job, shall I get into research, I am telling you, involuntary in your mind, what is going is that how much will I get the payment? What would be my salary? How much CTC will I earn? What would be my fringe benefits? Now, let me tell you, research also gives you good salary and other fringe benefits, but it would take time. And some of the undergraduate research, I would say, research institutes, they really don't pay well, but still people stick to it because of love, because of the creative idea. You really need to be that hungry. While worldwide, I would say Stanford comes as the first, MIT, followed by Harvard, Cambridge, California, California Institute of Technology, Oxford, Zurich, Imperial College of London, and the very famous Princeton University. Before we go ahead into the next part of the video, I would also like to tell you there's something just like pure and applied mathematics. There's something which is called applied research and pure research. Now, applied research refers to scientific study and research that seeks to solve real practical problems. So this type of research can be used in a variety of ways, curing illness, coming out of the drug, develop and innovative technologies. Pure research is our own contribution in the understanding of nature. Pure research involves developing and testing theories and hypotheses that are intellectually challenging to the researcher but may or may not have practical application at the present time or the future. So now the question is that just like pure and applied mathematics, you might say that I'm going to applied mathematics or pure mathematics, all roads lead to Rome. It starts with a pure thing and then goes higher and applications into the industry. Same goes with research, right? So you can either go into pure research, which is the fundamental understanding of the nature, right? Why the cloud is this color, why the sky is blue, all those things, fundamental research, right? Otherwise, you can go into, I would say, applied research, which will immediately give an effect. You can find out something, a kind of a medicine which would cure anything like that. So anyway, just to conclude this kind of a topic, shall I pursue my career in research? You have to understand first of all what you want. You want an immediate result. Research is not for you. You're looking for an immediate effect. Research is not for you. You have to be persistent and you have to find it out whether you go into a private research school or institute or you to go into university. The decision is totally up to you. Career or passion. In my earlier video, how to develop a career in mathematics, I have talked in details. But here I would just like to give you kind of a synopsis. To be very honest, in my career, I have seen lot many people who are very talented. Talented in mathematics, talented in physics, and many other areas. But they really don't have the financial support to carry on their passion. Their passion can be research, their passion can be pure mathematics, their passion can be anything. Now, let me tell you, at the end of the day, when you face that kind of a financial problem, sorry, social commitments to your parents or to your family coming from a joint family, then definitely you have to compromise passion in terms of getting an immediate job. Lot many students of mine, very young, if you go to my Facebook and LinkedIn account, you will find they are very talented. They are immensely talented. But the problem is that father is retired, family is not doing well, they need an immediate money. I can tell you that either you go for a job or you go for research or further higher studies, it is not a problem. I can tell you, I don't want to name certain people, but for an immediate impact that they need to get hold of I would say a job, they need a job because they have to support the family, their sisters, their dependents, etc. Do that. I would say do that because these people I am telling they are now doing great because they have started working. They have now more or less settled. After that, you can go into research. Now, I understand you might say that research requires a certain age. You need a certain age to get hold of a doctorate or a PhD or further. But in the digital era, I think that once the YouTube has come up with a lot of other sponsored universities, carrying up a passion is not a problem. I can tell you, you can carry on your passion, you can educate people, you can do your own research regardless of your age and whatever the restrictions you have. So, whether it is a career or it is a passion, I have seen many people really talented have to compromise their passion and have to take a hold of a career. Here is another catch which I would like to tell you. In spite of that, in spite of the financial problems, social commitments, those who are your dependents, maybe your parents, still, if you want to go ahead with your passion, please do that. Because at the end of the day, I will tell you, truth always helps you. If you see the different lives of, mathematician or physicists, those who were suffering from a financial problem, the immediate thought that comes into my mind, one name is Bernhard Riemann. Riemann was actually a very poor person. Same was Carl Friedrich Gauss. So they are really poor. They really don't have that amount of, I would say, money, etc., that they would have the pleasure. Okay, so let me go ahead and do research. But they have succeeded in life. Why, because of persistence. Whatever comes, what may come, I might not get a little bit of food one day, I might have to starve. Literally, I have to starve. Then also, I will pursue my passion. Then also, I will do my mathematics. Then also, I will do my physics experiment. If you really do have that kind of a grit, that kind of a passion, and most importantly, that kind of a commitment, please go ahead with your pursuance in higher studies, research, etc. Pursue your passion because at the end of the day, you will become successful. And that success is tremendous. Nobody can understand that. I really understand that because I have gone through that kind of a career. I would like to come live someday. If you really comment, I will tell you my journey in mathematics and physics. So, first of all, if you feel that money is a problem, get hold of a job, no problem. Along with the job, you can carry on your research and study. And if you really feel that you have got that grit, yes, in spite of starving for one day or 2 days, I will still pursue my career. I will still pursue my passion. I won't leave what I love. Go ahead with that. This particular topic, what are the prospects of a researcher? First of all, I would like to tell you, you have already gone through my video, so you really understand now that are you mentally that kind of a tough person, financial adversities, taking risk, etc. that you are a researcher. So I assume that you are a researcher. So currently, these are few of the fields which are emerging into research. One is algebra, second one is analysis. Then you can get combinatorics, which is a part of statistics, differential equations, dynamic system. Very recently, I got in connection with Dr. Najme Khajoui from Iran. She has been into dynamic system. I have been talking from some research papers. Further, I've already got her name into my website, Physics for Students. Fluid mechanics, geometry and topology, very much. Mathematical biology and numerical analysis. So these are the fields. Other than that, there are many other fields. I'm just relating to science and mathematics. Now, what would you, work for? Now, first of all, academic and research organization where you will undertake projects to develop the understanding of a particular area of mathematics. There are relatively few research posts, and you will likely have additional teaching responsibilities also. Yeah, because once you are become a researcher, it is very important that layman or ordinary people really don't know what you are doing. So you have to teach and you have to spread the understanding of that. In commercial organizations, you will help to develop new products and provide an insight into business performance. You may be allocated projects or could be involved in all stages of the product, the customer and the concept. So it is not only in the field of mathematics and physics, but in the sense of commercial ways. I mean to say, when you're going into say market research, launching a product, etc. So you have to get the concept of the customer. What are the responsibilities all in all for the researchers? So you can use specialist mathematical software such as mathematics matlab or mathcad, or programming language such as c plus in order to develop professional mathematical functions. So you have to be a little bit software savvy, because you will have to use those to develop mathematical functions. You have to produce original mathematics research, identify solutions by learning and applying new methods, for example, designing mathematical models and interpret data in a meaningful way, present findings at group and departmental meetings, senior management, yes, because you have to really speak out and tell what are the things that you're doing, attend and sometimes present at national or international scientific conferences, meetings in your particular field of interest. I have seen a lot of researchers goes into different national and international conferences, and they speak on that and meet with clients throughout projects to discuss ideas and results. So you have to go meet clients, because at the end of the day, research will have to come to final use, right? You cannot say that, okay, research is just research. So communicating, letting people know psychology, your work, and then meeting the clients and letting them know what exactly is going on. Well, regarding the working hours, may include extra hours, although weekends you really don't work. If you're an academic researcher, then additional responsibilities for postgraduates, you may do more work in the evening. Okay, what are the skills that you require? Well, I would say a creative approach, very much required, and a deep interest in mathematics, the intellectual ability to understand and analyze complex problems. This is the place where what I was telling, that intuitive understanding of complex problems, visualization of shapes and objects without using a pen and a paper, mentally doing the mathematics, real love for the subject, passion and hunger, and persistence. These are the things that you really want. Okay, tenacity, you see, it is already there, tenacity and patience for developing research projects. I can tell you, this tenacity is not the tenacity which we think. Just think right now, 10 years down the line, you're working, you're researching, you're doing projects, you're into a government or a semi government or a private organization. 10 years continuously, you're struggling with no result. How would you feel? Money is not a problem, you're getting paid. But 10 years into mathematics, into research, no result. You never know that the result might be coming on the 11th or the 12th year. I have really read through the interviews of Professor Andrew Wiles, who proved the Fermat's last theorem. years after years, days after days, shut down in a room and just working and working and working on number theory. And he mentioned that at times I felt, where am I going? An Abel Prize winner, the famous Professor Andrew Wiles. Where am I going? It is leading to nothing. Shall I stop? Shall I quit and go into something more lucrative, something more effective? So the effect is not going to come one day. This is the type of a mentality I'm looking forward. I mean to say, you need to look. Uh, Excellent oral and written communication skills, that is required, because without written communication, how are you going to communicate? And sometimes it is required that your highly technical mathematical research needs to be communicated in a very easy language. So, written communication, great attention to detail, obviously, the ability to collaborate and work as a team also, because when you're going into kind of a rocket propulsion or a space research organization, then you have to work with a very huge team. So the collaborative effort, the problems, the ego clashes, all those things you have to do. And finally, independent thinking. Obviously, without being an independent thinker, you cannot be a researcher. So these are the points which I just thought to give you an idea. So the prospects are already there. The type of research, whether you are into academic or into commercial, that you have to see. Responsibilities, you have to know a software and other languages, meeting through clients, communication, and the skills that you need. Don't think that as a researcher you just close your doors and you go on researching and researching. No, you have to communicate, you have to have peers around you, you have to have people, you have to have a maintain a good rapport, and then only things are going to come. Which is better, research or a job? This is a very common question I face with a lot of my students sending me messages. Sir, which one is better, research or a job? My question to you is that what do you consider better? I mean to say, what is better and what is bad? Which one is better? So, to answer this kind of a question, what I would tell you is that both of them are good. I told you that if you really have problems which you cannot address, financial, otherwise, social commitments, go for a job. Because what you are thinking it to be a job, okay, I don't like job, it's a kind of a 9 to 5 work, and then I come back, spend time with the family. No. I will tell you, I am into that kind of a job which demands a lot of research. So, which one is better, research or job? Both of them are good. There is no demarcation of what is better. It is in your mind. You think to be better. You think research to be better. I can prove you job is much better. I can tell you there are scopes in job. I can tell you that you can be a great mathematician in spite of doing a 9 to 5 kind of a job. So it depends upon you, the way, the perspective that you look like. We talked at length what are the parameters, etc. So you need a good mentor, you need a kind of a social support also. Your parents, etc., will say, okay, go ahead, no problem, I am there to support you. I have seen that in my college and school days, there are parents financially quite well to do. They are supporting their child to go on further and further and further into higher education. It will go into research. Fine. I understand that there are problems in the society where the parents are not always supportive in terms of finance and mental. But I have also seen children who would go against their parents, against financial commitments, against anything in order to, I would say, pursue their dream, pursue their career, pursue their passion. So, which one is better? Both of them are better. Whatever you do, do it in full passion. You are going to shine. You are going to be better. Research is one part which I told requires certain parameters. Most importantly, it is not always academic parameters, great scores, first class, great PhD and doctorates from international universities. No, it is the mentality. Again and again, I am repeating in this video, what you think to be right, what you think to be great is not great. What you think that 100 out of 100 scores, accolades from professors, this is not adequate. You need to have a clear understanding and that kind of a grit which I told. 10 years of work into research, still you are not successful. Would you continue in the 11th year? I have seen a lot of my friends, especially my seniors, who have been into great career throughout, went into banking, went into chartered accountant, went as a financial analyst, went into data science, became professors. Are they bad? No, absolutely not. Let them go ahead, because in that also you can do a lot of research. They would lament that, oh my goodness, Shaunak, I have been so well into academics, gold medal into chemistry, gold medal, and all those things. What am I doing? I am into banking, insurance, data science, whatever be the other job. See, the problem is that lamentation. Do not lament. First of all, if you feel, oh, I was watching another video of Swami Sarvapriyananda of Ramakrishna Mission. He told one very important point, that assess yourself, accept what you are. I am not that brilliant in mathematics. I am not that brilliant in physics. I am not that great in science or mathematics or calculations. Fine. You accept that and don't lament further. Go ahead with what is good with you. Each field is good. Whatever you are doing, do it with full passion. You will succeed. You will get success. You will get accolades. You will feel much better. But the problem is that we lament a lot. Oh no, what has happened? I was so good. I would have gone in that. So what? You're cursing yourself. You have made the way. You have created the path. Just I started with Robert Frost, that two roads diverged. Uh, the line is that I thought to go into the less traveled wood and I made the difference. So you are making the decision to go in a less traveled wood. Do not curse or do not blame your society, political power, parents, and the entire education system, because it is you who decide. Once you start going ahead, persist with that. Don't come back. Don't lament that I have taken a wrong path. So the entire idea of this video is to give you a guideline. Please do not lament. Please do not come back. Just persist in the way, and the sun is shining. It's already morning also here. Sun is shining at the end of the road. Okay, first, finally, to draw a kind of a conclusion, what I would like to tell, this video is absolutely not something where I would, have a lot of topics to tell, etc. But this is a kind of a motivational video, a kind of a career guidance, a kind of a way in which you go forward. Well, finally, what I would like to tell you, that research, higher studies, pure mathematics, job, etc., all of this, whatever I am saying, is I am saying in my perspective. You know your situation better. You know what kind of society, social commitments, financial problems you really have. Whatever you decide, consult with your tutors, mentors, seniors, everywhere. You can even talk to me. You have my email ID. You can write to me. I will do my best in order to give you the support. Just few points is that understand yourself, judge yourself, and accept what you are. You are always given an option that you can struggle, you can do better mathematics, you can do better study and improve yourself. But at certain point of time, you really feel, oh, this is ultimate. This is the end of the road. Please don't think like that, because human power is infinite, it transcends everything. So do whatever is your passion, understand your passion, vis a vis, you have to combine your passion with practicality. If you see that the practical demands for job, for money, for establishment is more, please go ahead with that. Do not lament, do not feel that I have done a wrong decision. The problem is that once you start lamenting, the entire scenario collapses. Even the job which you are at also collapses. If you're going into research, I have already told a lot of points, what the checkpoints. Before that, you need to know how good you really are in mathematics, whether you want to go into commercial research, pure applied research, into pure mathematics, physics, cosmology. Each of these fields are very good. Job is also good. It depends all upon you. So I would just like to conclude, with this last few lines, which I really liked, of Robert Frost, because it's deep philosophical. It gives a meaning that, and both that morning equally lay. That means in the morning, both the paths are there. Nothing has changed. In leaves no step had trodden black. The leaves are there are no footmarks, right? Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I really doubt, shall I ever come back? And the last lines, 4 lines, world's famous poems lines, poetic lines, and it is very true for you who is going to pursue a career in mathematics or in research. I shall be telling this with a sigh. I tell it with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, somewhere beyond I mean to say, in the history, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So Robert Frost took a road which is less traveled, and he fills with a sigh that I shouldn't, maybe he interprets, I shouldn't have done that I took the road that was less traveled by, that is make the difference. So for you, the two roads are in front of you: job or research, research or pure mathematics, research or higher studies, a direct job or whatever you want to do. Decide yourself, but do not lament back. Each one of the job, each one of the road is equally good. You decide, persist, continue, be positive, and success lies at the end of the road, whichever road you are taking. That's all for the video. I don't want to elongate it further. Do let me know, how do you like this one? Has it come to any use? What are your views, comments? Like, subscribe, and share my channel. This is Shaunok signing off from Physics for Students. It's quite bright morning out here, and this morning is going to take more light, more shining, and more exuberance in the future path, whichever you're taking to come. Have faith in yourself. Goodbye, and have a nice weekend ahead. Bye.
Now, you can be a part of our team. You can send your scientific articles, essays, research papers, lesson plans on a particular subject of science. For further details, please write to us at editor@physicsforstudents.com. Stay safe and happy.